and welcome to 3Spoonies. We're your hosts, Karen, Claire, and Joe, and this is episode 12.5, where we're discussing being loud and proud about your disability community questions. Let's get into some questions.
The Activity Connector's mission is to inspire children, young people and adults alike to find the right activities for them through collaboration. We believe there is a sport or activity for everyone. We aim to bring organisations together to benefit children, young people and adults within the educational setting. If there is a particular need, we would love to talk to you and see if we can help you fill that need. We are currently working with organisations in domestic abuse, county lines and mental health, first aid training and sports coaching. And do you have a hobby that makes a massive impact to you, or are you looking for that hobby? Why not drop us a message or take a listen to the Power of the Hobby podcast? We're always looking for more guests to come on and share what they love to do. Or do you work for a charity and want to get more exposure about what you do? Or are you looking at sports events and need more support to set these up and run them? Why not drop us a message and we can chat to see how we can offer to support you.
We are 3Spoonies navigating our way through life and business with not enough spoons. And we are here with the lovely Adelaide Edwards. Hooray!
Yay, welcome back.
Hi!
And we are going to be talking about being out and proud about your disability.
Yep, so we put a little form in our community and we have some questions for you. So no pressure, but all of the pressure.
Yeah.
So the first one is sent in anonymously. I can't get my words out. So the question is, I've only just been diagnosed and I'm not ready to be out and proud yet. I'm still trying to understand it all and come to terms with it. Is it okay to be open with employers later?
Yeah, I mean, you take as much time as you need. You know, it's a shock for most of us when we're diagnosed with something. You know, even if you've got an inkling, it might be coming, and that might be the diagnosis. Regardless, it's a shock, and you know, you've got to come to terms with your newfound status. And I think it's really important for you to be comfortable with your diagnosis. And then, I mean, if you feel comfortable telling people at work, or if you need sort of special adjustments made for you, then obviously that's a conversation that you can have in complete confidence with somebody in HR. But equally, if you don't need particular adjustments made for you, it's completely up to you whether you feel comfortable doing it or not. But from my personal experience, I would definitely say give yourself a little bit of time to settle in, see what your co-workers are like, what the culture is like at your workplace, and then perhaps feel your way through and figure out whether it's something that you feel comfortable sharing. But there's no right answer, unfortunately, for it. It's just literally a case of if you feel comfortable and if you feel like it's something that you want to share. But yeah, there's no right answer, I don't think, unfortunately.
I think that's fair, because it's down to each person as an individual, isn't it, as how they cope with things or how they process them and want to share. Everyone's going to be so different.
I'd add, if it's something that needs to be known or you're not comfortable with general people know, let HR know, but let them know you don't want it told to anyone.
Yeah, agreed.
So it's on your record.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, no, it's a difficult one. It's a really difficult one. And I think, like I said, if you've got particular adjustments that need to be made, then they absolutely, somebody in HR should absolutely know, because they need to make those adjustments for you, for you to do your job effectively. And you want to be able to do your job effectively, but you don't have to go and shout it around the office if you're not ready for it. You just do you just do what's right for you, and everybody's different. Everybody approaches things differently, and of course we all have different disabilities, and some of us are more comfortable with them than others. But yeah, it's a hard one to navigate, but you've just got to listen to yourself and do what you feel is right.
Definitely. So our next question is from Danny. So this one is, my friend keeps on using slurs, saying he's reclaiming the terms, but find them ableist and horrible. They're not all related to the condition he has, and some are specific to other conditions. Am I overreacting, or am I in the right to tell him that he's not to use those terms?
No, you are not overreacting. Absolutely not at all. I think if you're not comfortable with something that, somebody's saying to you, then you're more than absolutely within your right to say, look, have an open chat about it. So I just don't, I don't feel comfortable with, the words that you're using, absolutely. I mean, I think personally, if, somebody was making me feel uncomfortable in that way, I think that I would have to say something because it would really affect my relationship with that person. I think that I would have to. I mean, obviously, again, it's up to you individually if you want to have that conversation, but yeah, absolutely, if they're offending you, upsetting you, then you can't really go forward like that. You definitely need to have that conversation.
Yeah, it could. I mean, it could also be he's misunderstanding some of the terms he's using
That's true.
and might not be aware of it. So there's nothing wrong with like that friendly kind of relaxed conversation.
Yeah.
Making him aware of how you feel and talking about it might actually help him in a way. Because I know it's so easy to use things in the wrong way or not fully understand them.
And it bring about a discussion potentially,
Yeah,
and you can talk further into it, like we're doing now. And
yeah,
that can only be a good thing.
absolutely. And you'll probably find it will strengthen your friendship if you're being honest and you're not doing it to offend. It's just out of concern and you're both being comfortable.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I
our next
agree.
question is from Lucy, and hers is, I want to be a good employer. I suspect an employee may be autistic. How do I encourage an open environment so she's able to be open when she's ready?
Okay, so for this one, I think it would be good to have some kind of training perhaps around diversity inclusion, one where it's interactive, so people feel that they're in a safe space to be able to talk about this stuff. Isn't it amazing that you've got an employer that cares like this? Brilliant, love this question. There's so many that do this as just a tick box exercise, but clearly you're not, and that is just fantastic. I love it. So anyway, in terms of exploring some kind of training that can be done that brings about conversation, and hopefully that will encourage the employee to perhaps, she might not realize that she's got autistic traits, and she might potentially in the, if it's covered in the diversity and inclusion training, she might see something that resonates with her that she'd like to talk about. Of course, you can't ever, if somebody isn't ready to talk about it and doesn't want to talk about it, then that's absolutely up to them. If they're not ready for that, then it just has to be left. But if she feels in a safe space to do it, then definitely that will absolutely bring about discussion.
Yeah, and it could be just through like doing some training or awareness on it. She might not even be fully aware that she has these traits. It
Yeah.
can be, you can very much listen to people describing certain situations and things and be like, oh, I really relate to that. And oh, it could open up an idea in her head to be like, oh, maybe I should get this looked into a bit more.
Yeah, and what a brilliant employer. So kudos to you for that, because
Yeah, we need more employers like that.
yeah.
Definitely. But that is all. Those are all our questions. Joe, Karen, do you have any questions you want to add?
I do not, nothing that I can think of that I didn't already ask last week.
Nope, my
Okay,
brain is unfortunately
Karen, I can
completely
see Karen
blank.
thinking away, so I'm going to throw one in there. So obviously, we talked about how within certain situations we will be more out there and open, and some we're not. What have you found is kind of, I call it like my joy of being out and talking about it. Like, what is your biggest joy moment from being able to talk about your condition?
Oh, it's just a relief, isn't it? You know, if you can find a set of people like we're doing now who get it and you can talk about it, it's just a relief to, you know, when I was diagnosed, I didn't at the time know anybody in my position at all. And as I started to get to know, you know, there were some support groups. I actually found out by accident that, you know, there were other people, you know, who had the same condition as me. And it was just a relief to be able to talk to people who knew what I was going through and, you know, who had the same fears as me. And, you know, I was no doubt asking the same questions that they were asking when they were first diagnosed. So, you know, it's just, you know, when you're able to talk about it and you're in a safe space and free to talk about it without any kind of impact of, you know, feeling judged or discrimination, you know, it's just freeing.
It's nice to know you're not alone.
Yeah.
So I think sometimes but like you said earlier about being kind to yourself, we are so harsh on ourselves, and it's like you feel like you're the only one going through it.
Yeah,
So when you
absolutely.
do find people to relate to, like that's how us three kind of found each other through networking, and
Yeah.
more and more we talked, it's like, oh, we all understand each other, and now like we hold each other accountable to so much.
Yeah.
You know, having a bad day, it's like just go to bed, rest.
No, I'd say that's the one of the biggest, most important things for when anyone gets diagnosed is go out and try and find people like you know, people who have been there and understand it and understand what you're going through. Yeah, support networks are everything, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
Mm. So thank you so much for answering our questions. Is there anything you'd like to plug, Adelaide?
Yeah, me, of course. So I am the thing that I am plugging. You get me. So yeah, no. So I'm Adelaide, as mentioned before. I'm a virtual assistant at the workstation. And if you are looking to free up your valuable time and want to focus on your core business tasks and less on administrative tasks, then please get in touch. And I think that you've got it for me, haven't you?
Yeah, we've got
Yeah,
your link.
We've got
Yeah,
everything.
links
will
and
be
stuff.
in the show notes.
Thank you.
So thank you, Adelaide, for being there to answer those questions and to get the discussion going. It's been grand. And thank you to you out there for joining us for 3Spoonies on being out and proud. Oh no, loud and proud about your disability. Maybe a bit of both. We'd love to know your thoughts in the comments and any questions you have. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe for our weekly podcast and leave us a review. You can find us on social media, and we'd love it if you'd join the Business Success Network for Disabled Entrepreneurs Facebook group. You can also buy us a coffee if you like what we do. Links are in the show notes, including Adelaide's, and we'll see you next week for our next topic, marketing with social media. Have a great day and keep track of your spoons.